Hello, Anthony.
Hello, Claudine.
We're here today to talk about the brand new world of tax audits.
That's right.
Seems like the IRS has some new targets on their radar.
Right, that's right.
We want to tell people who those groups are,
Yes.
why they're suddenly the ones in the radar,
Yes.
and what they can do about it.
Yes, this is the world of international tax audits. This is the big one. This is the growth. It's sort of what I've been predicting. I thought it would happen, and it has.
Mm-hmm.
So it's pretty interesting how things have gone on, because here's the IRS's problem. They have fewer resources.
Mm-hmm.
You know, over the years, they sort of angered the Republican side. So the Republicans haven't really offered, haven't changed the tax code. We're like, well, we'll just cut your budget.
Mm-hmm.
So, but we want you to do everything you're required to do.
Yeah, we still want a lot of revenue.
We want that revenue, and the IRS is in the position. Well, yeah, we kind of did do something a little bit wrong there, so we'll just take our punishment and not yell too much about it. We don't want to attract attention to ourselves. So they have the demands. They still have to implement Obamacare. They're still doing that with less resources, and they have to say, hey, we're the big bad IRS. And we have to assess, and here's the other part, not just assess additional revenue with your audits, but also collect on it. Mm-hmm. Assessment's just part of it.
Yeah. So how are you going to do it?
So, well, I mean, it used to be a little bit easier because you had a lot of people in the U.S. who were making a lot of money. Mm-hmm. Let's just say 2006, we would have a plumber as a client, an audit client, and he'd have a decent income, and he'd have maybe dubious expenses. And so that'd be the typical audit case you would see. It would be a field audit, and that'd be really what you would see. And there, the IRS would, they would have to go and do the field audit, which is really, really intensive. You're talking maybe 4 days that the auditor might be out to visit. Yeah, it could be 4 days for a plumber.
Yep.
They assess the bill, and the plumber has the ability to pay. Well, this is what changed. The plumber now, he's doing okay. Mm-hmm. And that opportunity for dubious expenses isn't quite there. Mm-hmm. So you're going to send, does it really make sense to send a field auditor who's trained and scarce out to get somebody to assess probably not that big of a tax that he
can't maybe afford?
Right. And he might not pay it. Mm-hmm. They're like, okay, who are our targets? This isn't working out for us.
I think you said it best when you said it. It's almost like the IRS is just hanging out on their couch. Like just sitting on the couch. What's an easy way to get money just sitting on the couch without having to go out and chase anybody down?
Well, or you could say less derogatory, because I stand up for our dear IRS. They're just allocating resources effectively. That's one way to say it.
Okay.
Of course, that's me. So international audits are hot.
Yes.
And that's really it. So, and this is why. Here are some of the factors that are going into why it is. Foreign reporting is incredibly difficult. We've done so much content on Form 8938, the FATCA Form 5471, Foreign Corporation, FBARs. So difficult to get that right. We look at things all the time done by CPAs who seem to know what they're doing, and it's just wrong. Mm-hmm. And it's just wrong because if you're not doing it every day, it's so easy to get wrong. Here's the other thing too. The penalties for these technical violations can be significant.
A lot of revenue there.
Yeah. And the failure, and here's the other bonus, because there's more in the package. Mm-hmm. Failure to file a form or substantially incorrect leaves an entire tax return open for additional assessment. The statute of limitations doesn't close. Mm-hmm. Now this is really, now here's the reason why. This is one example why this is the best thing, I guess, if we're sitting in our couch. Mm-hmm. If we're sitting in our couch, you could just say somebody could pass you a taxpayer's form 5471 they filed. Mm-hmm. You could look at that form and you could say, okay, I can audit this because here's a mistake right here. I can see you made a mistake. And I also could see in this year you had a form 926. And so maybe you could call someone at the IRS, hey, did they file Form 926? No, they didn't. Great. I have an audit. I have a winnable issue. Mm-hmm. I have a high penalty assess. And the penalty is going to be based on the transfer. So that's really something to look out for. That's a huge penalty potential. Now, and let's not forget FBAR penalties, our old friend.
Those are easy.
Those are easy to get. You can bag people, and those penalties are based on the account value, not the tax. And that's the distinction, right? That's the big thing with our plumber. Any penalties you hit them with, even if you hit them with the civil fraud penalty, that's only a percentage of the unpaid tax. Wouldn't you like to put a penalty on account value? On the thing itself? That's so much great.
From someone that obviously has a decent amount of money.
And they have it.
They do have it.
They have it. So,
and thanks to all the new requirements of the U.S. telling all the foreign banks, give us all the information on every U.S. customer, we know how much money they have.
right, but that's sort of the odd thing, though, because as we gone through, we're going to go through some of the talk about the international practice units. This is what's going on now. So the IRS, before they would say, hey, audit this taxpayer, see what you find. Now it's different. This is what we want you to find the taxpayer. So that's how it's changed. So there's something like, and it's updated constantly about the issues that they're looking for. And the IRS opens its playbook. That's nice of them.
Yeah.
So since 2014, the IRS came up with these IPUs, or International Practice Units.
This is big.
This is big. You want to take this part?
Yeah. So the IRS says, as part of the LB&I Internationals, which is sort of duplicative, knowledge management efforts, practice units are developed through internal collaboration and serve as both job aids and training materials on international tax issues. For example, these practice units provide IRS staff with explanations of general international tax concepts, as well as information about specific types of transaction. I read that as it's really hard to train all of these people to be on the same page. And it's very similar to things we've said before. They don't have the ability to go through all these documents. They basically go, Joe, how would you handle this? Oh, last time I saw this is what I did. And it's almost just saying, there's no actual law, so this is how we're going to sort of do it.
It reminds me of the way that you would study for a bar exam or in law school. Don't get too wrapped up in the facts pattern. You know the class, these are the issues that are coming out. Find the issue. That's what it really is, because if you're just going in like, oh man, that's a really long story, I don't know what to look for. When you know what to look for, you find it. It's a lot easier to find it as opposed to dealing with a whole bunch of data.
Yes. Now, this is going to affect not only LB&I, multinational corporations, but there's also some of these IPUs that will affect regular folks,
Yes,
expats.
absolutely.
So there's IPUs about foreign housing exclusions, Form 926. So again, it's just ways they can bring in revenue, and it's going to affect a lot of people.
And I think that's a significant development. Large business and international, LB&I. Okay, well, this is the focus on international. Now, international isn't focused on international large business, but as we went through, as we've gone through the updated list, I would say it seems like 60, 70% are something that would apply to an individual with affairs abroad that could quite easily. It's just not on multinational and transfer pricing.
Yeah.
But actually a lot of things normal people could be involved in.
Yeah. So on the horizon, we see this getting bigger and bigger. In 2014, there was 44 IPUs. 2015, they added an additional 40. So far in 2016, another 40 were added. We've got a total of 124 of these IPUs, things that the IRS are sort of using as tools to go after individuals to get revenue and audit them.
One interesting aside, guess what's not an IPU?
What?
FBARs.
Weird.
Yeah. And this is something that I've been talking to clients. The IRS actually doesn't do anything with the FBAR information you send. It's only there to be used if you don't file it. We started auditing you, and now we've determined, oh, by the way, there's an FBAR penalty. There's an FBAR audit. But there's nothing. It still looks to me that there's nobody at FinCEN, or wherever they go at the IRS, the FBARs, who's looking at this, okay, let's audit this person. That's not what's going on. It's only there, like, make sure that if they don't have it, then hit them with it. So it's really, talk about a trap. Is that not a definition of a trap? Because you're not even using the information for tax compliance.
Right.
You're not using it at all. You're just using it to catch people. You didn't get this. We're going to get you now. So kind of a little nasty. So
what we'll do is we'll put a link in the description to the irs.gov list of all these IPUs. So what's your advice for, LB&I, corporations? What should they do? How do you handle this?
Well, you just want to make sure that you've taken some strong positions and maybe get a second look at some of your filings if you haven't. Make sure that you are not the only international client of your CPA. Don't be the only one. Make sure that they, are used to this, and a lot of this is what happens. This is sort of the fact that happen. Somebody hires a CPA. He does very well over the years, and he's loyal to the CPA. Hey, this CPA was there for me from the beginning.
Okay.
but your affairs have outstripped the ability of that CPA.
Yep.
And so sometimes it's you just have to say, hey, you know what? I got to get, nothing against you. I just got to get somebody a little bit specialized in this. Or say, hey, why don't you handle this part? I just need somebody else for that. And that's really hard for people to do.
Yeah.
And I totally understand.
Yep.
The loyalty, should mean something. And it can be hard to break it. But you have to look at the IRS is out here, and they have, the ground is really, I guess you are right.
Yep.
They can be on that couch and wait for it to come to them.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. Well, if you need any assistance, we have a team of attorneys, CPAs, enrolled agents. We can review your books. We can help you if you have any issues you're concerned about. Don't hesitate to contact us, 888-727-8796. You can email us, info@irsmedic.com. Check out irsmedic.com for more information. You can like and comment below and subscribe to our channel for more awesome tax updates. Thanks for watching. IRSMedic, the law offices of Parent LLP, real tax attorneys for tough tax problems.